Hello, welcome to another Q&A for the San Francisco Green Film Festival 2024. We are very lucky to have some great filmmakers here with their great short films that you just probably watched to talk about their movies and a little bit about the Green Film Festival and making short films. Hey, everybody. Thanks
Yo,
for being here. Real quick, out loud, you guys are all representing locally. Where are y'all from? Right around here, right?
Bernal Heights.
Myrtle Heights, in my backyard. I'm in Noe Valley.
I'm
Who
in
else?
Joshua,
Where
Brooklyn.
you from?
Joshua and I are from way up north, a good solid 45 minutes north of you guys up in
Yeah.
Sonoma County.
Antarctica.
Sonoma.
Yeah.
Right on. So we got Bay
Hi.
Area representing.
Yeah.
Why don't you quickly just tell everybody what your film is and what your role is in the film? Peter, I got you up in my left-hand corner. I'll start with you, please.
A cool message from the American Petroleum Institute is a heartfelt message from very, very caring corporate executives who always have our best interests at heart. Please do not listen to any other voices. And it is designed to be a skit, a satire to help me launch doing things that I write and direct and hire actors for because I've been doing so many documentaries and I just really wanted to do that and launch it. And I've actually written a couple of other scripts with the same character, and I really like him because
Oh.
he's evil.
Yes. Molly, that got a reaction from you, so introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Molly. And our film is about the human nature connection. And if we can rebuild that connection, seeing ourselves as a part of nature instead of apart from nature,
Mhm.
maybe we can do a lot to save the planet.
I hear you. Yeah. Matt, how about you next? Please introduce yourself.
Yeah. Speaking of saving a small part of the planet, our film that Joshua and I made together is called Wingspan, and we follow Joshua, who's a wildlife and conservation photographer for the ILCP, as he and we trek to the top of the Pinnacles National Park as he photographs the California condor population, which is making an incredible resurgence in that area.
Excellent. Thank
And
you.
just
Josh, why don't you join in next?
sure, yeah. So, what's up, everybody? Yeah, I'm a wildlife and conservation photographer with the ILCP, which is the International League of Conservation Photographers. California condors are critically endangered. Just want to throw that out there. They went functionally extinct in 1987. There are a few hundred left, and I've been working for over a decade to bring them back. And I'm personally bringing them back to Sonoma County, along with a few other people, like in the Yurok tribe in the north. The Grand Canyon, and of course the Central California population. So they're a massive bird species, and it's been an honor to work with Matt and everybody on this project. Yeah.
Right on. Palmer, how about yourself?
Everybody. I'm the director of Forward, which is a short doc about my friend Angelica, who's a outdoor explorer and plus size hiker based in Los Angeles. And she started a group for other fellow women of color who consider themselves plus size to find community and belonging in the outdoors. And it follows their journey as they attempt to summit 5 peaks in one day in Angeles National Forest.
Loved all your films. Congratulations on making them. You know, but they had to be challenging. Making movies is challenging. And Palmer, since you just led off, or we were last with you, it had to be. How did you find Angelica? Were you guys already friends? I mean, how did you get access to your subject?
Yeah, I'd made a film about a friend of Angelica's. We have a mutual friend. I'd made a film about her friend and mine named Sonia a few years ago, and Angelica really enjoyed that film, and we, just connected through that process and kind of built a relationship through our mutual friend. And
Was
yeah,
she
I mean,
involved? Was she
Angelica,
involved in that film?
she wasn't. No, she was just someone who enjoyed watching it, and kind of came to me and said, "Hey, you made this film about my friend. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really well done. I have a story to tell, and I would love to maybe work with you in telling it," which so rarely happens. Like I'm sure everyone here can kind of attest. Like often we're kind of like finding a story, and there's a lot of work putting into reaching out to folks and kind of doing some coaxing to get them to build trust and whatnot. And Angelica right out of the gate was like, "Hey, I've got a story to tell. I'm taking up space, and I want to work with you. So that was just really beautiful. And Angelica, came on to help story produce her own film with me, which was really a fantastic process to work together in that way.
Yeah, yeah, because usually it's the other way around. The filmmaker is inspired to tell a story of that person and has to get access, if you will, or get kind of a relationship.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah,
It was a
she's
unique
very
process,
open.
but
She was very open.
yeah.
What happened? How did your relationship develop making the movie?
Now Angelica is just like a homie. Like she's just a really good friend, and we like have had so much fun going to different festivals around the country in California, screening this film together. I think throughout the like most rewarding thing that can come out of making a film with someone is to like retain that relationship even
Mhm.
after the film is done. And I feel really lucky to have done that. And also the community of women that Angelica has cultivated also continue to hike together. They do like bi-weekly, monthly big hikes in LA and Southern California. She just led a group of women up Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. So she's doing incredible things, and it's been really fun to watch that both as a friend and a fan. And I plan to do that moving forward, even
Uh,
after the festival circuit is done.
Very cool. Now, then, how about Joshua and Matt? Did you guys know each other before making the film? Was it covered in the movie that you guys had a relationship, or?
No, it's not. And Polar, I resonate so much with what you're saying in terms because that was exactly my experience with Joshua. Like I've had that experience where you have to chase a story and you have to chase the protagonist and convince somebody. And I was like, I pitched this idea. I was like halfway through the sentence. Joshua, I have this idea for a film. He's like, I'm in. Let's do it. Like
Nice.
Joshua's, and I'll let you speak for yourself, Joshua, but your energy for conservation and principally photography, which is the entry point to the project for me, is just so infectious that I'm stoked for condors and for conservation photography because of you. So it's very
Sounds
inspiring.
like a line from the movie.
Yes, it does.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's been, like Matt said, it's infectious. I've been described as infectious enthusiasm many times over the years, and so happy to bring that to him. It's weird kind of being in front of a screen and everything, but I was more than happy to work with Matt on this. I'd rather be behind the screen, showing off the condors and animals and how amazing they are. And but I don't know, I'm a gateway to people apparently, so here I am. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
and you were an entertaining subject, for lack of a better word, because of your passion for what you do and for the bird, for the animal. So, Matt was right on. Matt, how did you discover Joshua?
So I'm the content director at Think Tank Photo, and we're a company that manufactures and designs camera bags for professional photographers. Some of you guys might use our gear. If you need gear, hit me up. We do collabs. So Joshua was a guy who he was one of my do you do collabs. He came. We were introduced because we were in the same community. He needed gear, and the more we started to collaborate, and the more I got to know his photography, it just sparked this creative drive that honestly had been dormant for a little while inside of me, where I was like, this guy makes me want to get back out, get a camera, start shooting again. And I mean, within weeks, like of kind of like that germinating in my head, we had a project going.
So, I kind of asked Palmer about gaining access to Angelica. How are you able? You gained access to Joshua, but what about the terrain and the geography? How was that for you? Was that a challenge?
Joshua and the cinematographer Ian Nelson, they're nuts. Yeah, I don't know how many times you guys have made that trek to the top of the pinnacles, but it was grueling. Yeah, crack of dawn, pre-dawn, hiking in the dark, going straight up the hill.
But it paid off with beautiful cinematography, beautiful,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely worth it, but it was a long day.
And Molly, how about you? How'd you pull in all your interviews and the people speaking in your film?
Yeah, I was tasked with making several videos for a new exhibit at the California Academy of Sciences. And this video came about from we had done all that, we had filmed interviews up and down the state with different tribal members. And we found a common theme after a while, which was this human nature connection, not just connecting people with nature, but having access to connection. Sounds like maybe similar to Angelica's story. And so it kind of, it was a little bit organic. And so it worked out really well.
Yeah. In programming these films, I mean, that could have been a theme: connection, connectedness. And we can talk about that in just a little bit more, but I want Peter to go because his is basically the opposite, in my opinion: disconnected. Big companies, big money, oil company, businesses disconnected completely. Peter, talk about your film.
Well, if you're going to tell the story that is designed to just get people to ask themselves, so why are all the billionaires building luxury bunkers? Um, Maybe I should pay attention to that. Um, if maybe that means something, maybe they are thinking about the future and they're not thinking about good things. And if you're going to tell that story, maybe it should be a comedy. Maybe it has to be a comedy.
Huh.
And so I designed this character. And I have to admit, a big inspiration was Joe Azuzu from the 1980s commercials. There was a character named Joe Azuzu who just lied and lied. And so my character just lies and lies. And the whole time he's packing to flee. And so I just love this. And I have 2 other scripts I've written for him so far because he's a really good character. And um, he's passionate in his own way.
Yeah.
His 2 children find other passions, and I just like the idea of just getting people to ask this question, and then maybe deciding if they want to take action. I just did a long interview with David Hartsoe as he's retiring, and he's one of the key people who met Martin Luther King and marched and was almost knifed at a Woolworth's counter. And so how do you bring about change is a huge thing in my life as an activist too. This is me interviewing a scientist in lockdown at Wells Fargo. So how to take this into the future and bring it to a wider audience. It's just a big deal for me. And of course, it's always great to get a laugh. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Through humor, through entertainment, maybe we can make some people active, right? So, like I said, these films talk about connectedness. And Molly, I mean, I loved all these films. I enjoyed all these films. I can't remember what some of the quotes were from your movie. Maybe you can help me with that. Let me look up my notes. But just some truthful notes about connectedness, right? With nature, how we're losing connection with our surroundings, with our planet.
Yeah, it's really true. And just when you have those connections, the more you care about the planet and the more you'll work with the planet. And I think one of the quotes that I love the best is, one of the tribal members we interviewed down in Southern California said, we often think of human impact on the planet as this negative thing, but native folks were stewarding the planet for so many thousands of years. And so we can have a really positive impact. And I think if that's the message we can get across in this film, all the better.
Right, right. And then what about the Condor movie, Wingspan? Joshua, you're connected to those birds. I mean, I think you say, I gravitated. Like you saw one or something, and I think a direct quote was like, like that's when you found your passion. That's when you knew what you had to do, and I gravitated towards the birds. You were connected. Were you a condor in a previous life or something? You're muted.
I might have been. Yeah. So, yeah, I've worked on, a lot of endangered species before condors, but I don't know, being there and something felt right. Something wanted to make me keep coming back, and I wanted to keep being there. I wanted to keep being involved, even when, things got a little bit tougher, and I thought maybe I should quit, working with condors. I had to keep doing it. There was something calling to me. And I feel like when there's something calling to you like that, you shouldn't ignore it. You should absolutely chase it because it's probably what you're meant to do with your life. And
Yeah.
So condors
What,
definitely.
yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off, but what, so I
Sure.
just heard you say it got tougher and tougher to continue. What was the challenge? What was getting tougher?
Um, I don't want to speak on it too much, but
Okay, you don't have to.
it's kind of a matter of getting in with the condor biologists and
Oh,
letting them trust you, and the trust really has to be earned. And I mean, it was years and years and years of trust before they were like, oh, okay, yeah, he's all right, you know.
right,
And
right. What
You
your
know,
motives
and in a
are,
lot
what
of
your
ways,
intent is.
that's what we've been talking about. Typically, as documentary filmmakers, trying to gain that trust with a person who you're asking them to open up themselves to you and share the essence of who they are. It's a very vulnerable thing that we are asking these people to do. I'm gonna point this camera at you and ask you the most personal questions about yourself. It takes a lot of
And that
courage for that person to say
be
yes.
natural, be yourself, it's
Yeah.
like get the truth across. Um, yeah, it's so true. But remembering the films, like I said, we don't have enough time for all your films, but I remember. I mean, I remember I could feel, Josh, I could feel you like you said, like, soul. You like connected with the soul. You looked into the eye of the bird and you connected with the soul.
yeah. They are individuals. People like to see animals as not that smart. They don't have their own spirits, or they don't have, we're above them, they're below us, that sort of situation. And that's not the truth at all. These animals are highly intelligent. They love to be a part of a group. They love to socialize. They look you directly in the eyes, and they they recognize something in you. There's an intelligence that's there that when you look at them in the eyes, all of a sudden it just kind of hits you like a ton of bricks. It's like there's something else about these creatures. I wouldn't say every creature is like that, but for sure the condors and
Yeah.
they're
Do
yeah.
you think, this applies to all you guys too? Like, if people got outdoors more, then we would be connected more. You know what I mean? It's like Palmer. I mean, I don't know if Angelica. I think she was talking about her, you know, minority family, a colored family, not doing much or being involved with nature much. But then when she got out and she kind of reconnected and rediscovered herself by doing the hikes, right? Like she said, like her family
Yeah.
can't, or her family had bad experiences with outdoors or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, she grew up in Lakewood, in LA County, like, deep in LA. And, I think it's true, like, the more we can spend time outside, I think it's better for our mental health and physical health, of course. But I think obviously for many folks, it's important to remember that there are a lot of barriers to entry to be able to do that. To be able to like, go on like a remote scenic hike where it's very quiet, whatnot. So in my mind, and part of what this film with Angelica is attempting to do is to not only talk about those barriers, whether it's transportation, like for Angelica in our film, like she takes the bus to go for a hike. She doesn't really drive all that much.
Hmm.
Um, in her case, it's gear. Like she has a bigger body. A lot of brands don't make, uh, base layers, backpacks, whatever it might be, that like fit her different body type, which is a challenge. But then also, I think it's rethinking like what we consider connection to outdoors. Like, is it a local park, like around the corner from us, like just like 10 minutes outside, sitting on a bench? Maybe it's a little bit noisier or like there's cars driving by. But that I think is worthwhile doing and exploring, even if you can't get, to where I am in Tilden or up into Redwood. I think there's benefit for us in spending as much time we can wherever that might be.
Yeah,
And also just bringing more green spaces and more access to transportation for folks who encounter those barriers, like Angelica and her family as well.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
all interconnected.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and that was a line maybe in your movie or in Molly's movie. We're all interconnected. That word came up a couple different times in each of your movies, except for Peter's, like I said. But it was obvious that that was the opposite. Peter, why did you make your movie? I mean, besides the breakaway from making serious docs or documentaries all the time, you wanted to do something lighter and funny. Did you hope that there would be a message conveyed?
Oh, definitely. And I was relating it to the David Hartso stuff because I just want people to start asking questions. There's a lot of people who are too busy with their lives and aren't asking questions about the future, who really care about their kids. And I've talked to people who know just enough that they've decided to give up, that there is no hope. And of course, that's very sad too. I don't agree with that perspective, but I totally understand how people, when they get limited information, can go down that road. And so I just want people to ask questions. And if I do get a chance to make more films, his kids become more prominent and how they respond to the situation is very different. And I hope actually becomes a model.
Yeah.
And I think I honestly think he's funny. I just do.
Right. Well, you just inspired me to ask kind of a tangential question. Are you guys hopeful?
Mhm.
Yes. I think that
Yeah.
that cliche about the new world being born is actually true. I think this birth is rather extraordinarily difficult.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Matt. Are you hopeful? You're shaking your head, yes?
Yeah, I mean this process of being part of this festival and
Yeah,
meeting all of you and seeing these films and learning about all of these unique stories, which I knew nothing about and never could have imagined, that makes me hopeful because finding out about other people's experiences and learning from them and growing from them, that's the
yeah.
secret.
That's the one bet. That's one of the greatest things about you guys, about filmmakers, storytellers, about this festival, Green Film Festivals. After I'm screening them, I either like want to run out and like start protesting or go and plant a tree. You know what I mean? I want to do something. I'm riding my bike more for let's say right now. I mean, it's simple, but so it does make me active. Joshua, hopeful?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that I don't have a choice. That's how I see it. There's no choice but to be hopeful. And there's a lot of naysayers out there and stuff like that. But at the same time, like if I can inspire people to get into nature, even if it's one person, like I've made all the difference in the world. And I believe that, I truly believe that every single person is a fan of nature. Some of them just don't know it yet. Some of them can resonate. Each person resonates with a certain animal, a certain area, a certain habitat. And that's all you need to draw them in. And from there, it's a rolling stone.
Yeah, we got to reconnect. Got to stay connected with nature. And I just realized like this is a dangerous question to kind of get close to the end of this thing. Are you hopeful? I don't want anybody to be like a downer, and my Q&A a downer, but you can speak your heart. Molly, are you hopeful about the future, about things?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think really Matt said it so well. I don't think I can add much more, but I think as filmmakers, a lot often our job is to tell the stories of other people and their hopes and dreams and show that it's not just us, that there's so many of us that are hopeful and so many of us doing the work. So it's not just you alone out there. It's like it's all of us, right?
Yeah, yeah. Palmer, same question.
No, no, I'm just kidding.
I
Very
knew, I felt,
the one guy who says no. I'm
I
just
felt like
kidding.
you were gonna end with that.
No, no, I feel very hopeful for actually like the first time in a long time. And there's a lot of reasons for that. We don't have to, go down the rabbit hole right now. But I think like with all of our films, and I think with Angelica in particular, like the end of our film, one of her concluding lines, in reflecting on this community of that she's built is like sometimes it's just got to be you. Like don't wait for other people to make space. Don't wait for other people to, make the change you want to see. Sometimes it's just got to be you. And I am hopeful because of people like that who like recognize that and then take action to do something. And I think from where I sit as a filmmaker, as someone with privilege, like I just want to lend the skills and time that I have to support them.
Yeah,
And that helps me feel hopeful in a way
yeah.
that I can kind of,
Right on.
do my piece.
Right
Yeah.
on. Yeah, she was very inspiring. All your films were very uplifting or entertaining or moving, very enjoyable to watch. We got time for one more question or comment. So we'll keep it short and sweet, but you can add anything you want as a send off, or I'll just leave you with what were you hoping to accomplish or convey with your film, get done with your film, and did you accomplish your goal?
I just wanted to say that everybody's film sounds really interesting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing all your films. They all sound really great. Perfect to be perfectly frank. I don't
They
fire
are.
people.
They are. That's why they're in our film festival. They're very good. Thank you, Peter. Anyone else? Parting words, or did you achieve what you wanted to accomplish? Or
I
accomplish what you
I
wanted?
think so. I just wanna say, like, I hope everybody gets out there and sees nature and enjoys it and whatever element you love, whether it's water or plains or mountains, go out there and see it because as a nerd myself, Star Wars fan, Lord of the Rings fan, the more I got out there, the more I was like, the real fantasy and sci-fi is out in nature and it's out here. And it is so insanely amazing. There's something else I was gonna say, but yeah, you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, you get
everything
out
has a
there and take the
role.
time.
Every
Yeah,
species has a role to play. Yeah, keep them alive. They're keeping us alive, so keep them alive.
right on. Who'd like to go next? Molly, you want to say something?
I really don't have much else to say, but I am really excited to see all these films, and I think this festival is a great way to really just showcase all the hard work people are doing. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Matt, how about you? Any parting words or?
Yeah, just that I'm excited to meet all of you and to see your projects and to see the films and to see films outside of this slate that we're talking about here. And we're talking about just a tiny little block of the movies that you guys are showcasing. So
Yeah.
I'm so appreciative and so thankful, and you guys give me hope.
Right on. We are too. Palmer, any parting words?
Yeah, I echo everyone's sentiments. Looking forward to meeting you all, hopefully, and seeing your films. And I hope everyone who watched online enjoyed too. And yeah, I just hope folks get out in whatever way they can, whether that's, to a national park, to their local park, a walk around the neighborhood, whatever it looks like for you, just get outside.
Yeah, get outside. Good parting words. Good message.
Mhm.
Well, it was great talking with you guys. Your program is what? Sunday, October 20th, right? Well, I'll see you then. Hopefully, come up and say hi. In the meantime, everybody, thank you for joining another Q&A with the SF Green Film Festival 2024. We appreciate you watching our short films and hope to see you at the theater. All right, guys. Congratulations. Good work. Keep making movies.